Okay. You guys have a pre-test and a post-test. 1ISEBPAY for the pre-test. The post-test is 4HOVZHIG. Page 2 is just a review of the definitions. Page 3 is a group of integer reviews. Okay, so on example 1, how did you write the first problem here under 1? So 34 more nurses, you did plus 34, or just 34 is okay. What about number 2? Decrease in temperature? -2 degrees. Decrease. And number 3? Positive $8. And a 17-pound loss. How would you write it? -17. I'm sorry, it was a 17-pound loss. Okay. What about number 2, example 2? The opposite. So what's the opposite of -5? 5. Opposite of positive 69? -69. The opposite of 40? -40. And the opposite of positive 13? Okay, so that's what they mean by opposites. And then the example, real life situations where integers can be used. Give me some situations. You have 4 slots there. What did you guys put? Your what? Your dog lost what? A tick? Well, I hope he loses all his ticks. Okay. So 1 tick is just -1. But I would like him to lose all his ticks. Okay, what's another good example? Okay, so if I deposit, how much is your check? So that would be plus 500, right? Okay, and then give me 2 more. I need 2 more examples. Teresa, you got one? He found a what? C-O-T? Or a cat? Okay. You were having an animal thing going on. My son found. Is it 1 cat? Did he have kittens? Did she have kittens? Just 1? You were into 1 and you were into animals. Okay, and then give me 1 more. Teresa, did you have one? You have to pay your friend? Your rent. Okay. I have to pay my rent. How much is your rent? Woo, baby. That'll break you. $1,200 for rent. Okay? All right, thank you for those examples. Okay, and then on the next page is a review of absolute value. Remember that absolute value means how far from 0. So, what's the absolute value of -19? 19. It can never be negative, right? Because distance isn't negative. Okay, what about number 2? -66, absolute value. Just 66. Number 3, positive 76. 76 away from 0. And number 4, -3. 3. So you guys can do the rest of those. Yeah, those are pretty easy. Okay. Now on page 5, let's do a couple on here. Page 5, you're going to use less than, greater than, or equal to symbols, the inequality symbols. So if I compare positive 9 to negative 94, what symbol should I use reading from left to right? Greater than. Okay, let's go down to number 3. Negative 94 compared to positive 93. Less than. Okay, number 5. Negative 79 compared to negative 79. Equal to. Number 7. Negative 11 compared to positive 62. Less than. Okay, number 9. Positive 62 compared to 97. No, 62. Less than. Okay? And then 11. 68 compared to 68. Equal. 13. 1 compared to negative 90. Greater than. And then number 15. Negative 90 compared to positive 90. Less than. Now you guys can do the next column, okay? You guys do the other column. Okay, now on the next page, let's do a couple of those. Let me pull this up so you guys can see all of the question. You're supposed to arrange these in a particular order, so you have to read the instructions carefully to see what order on exercise 3. Focus that in a little bit. Now, the first question, they want us to arrange this in descending order. What does that mean? Start from the largest, biggest number. So what's the biggest number in this list? Then what? Is it 84? Yeah, 84 over here. Let me just cross these out as I'm doing it. 84, then 74. And then the next positive one is 10. Then on the negative side, which is the largest negative? Remember, the largest negative is the one closest to 0. What would that be? Negative 53. Then what? Negative 89. Negative 94. And then negative 164, which is the least in the list. Okay? Now, number 2 says arrange in ascending order. What does that mean? Start from the lowest number. And what's the lowest number in this list? No, no, no. You got to start with the negative side. What's the lowest number? No, what about this negative 938? I'd hate to be a negative 938 in the bank. Negative 938 has to come first because it's the lowest number in the list. Okay, what's next? Negative 128. Then what? No, no, no. It has to be negative still. No, what about 80? Negative 80. Okay? Then negative 62. Then negative 59. Okay, then what are we going to start with? We've gone on the positive side now. So what's the smallest one? Yeah. No, no, no. We have 6, 45, we have 15, and we have 65. So we got to do 15. Then we're going to do 65. And then we're going to do 645. Now this is ordered from smallest to largest. Do you understand, Felipe? Okay. Start with the negatives when you are going to do the smallest one first. And then continue with the positives. All right, you guys try number 3 and then tell me what you got for the answer. Everybody try number 3 on page 6 and then tell me what you got for the answer. You can work with your table mates. What should come first in number 3? 957. Okay, and then what? 67. Then what? 54. Then what? 6. Then what? 4. There's 2 4s, right? And then what? Then negative 92 is larger than negative 873. Okay, so you guys kind of get the hang of what to do on this page? All right, go ahead and finish that page up, page 6. Dot, it's on page 4 and the example is up above. If you look at example 1 and example 2, they tell you what absolute value means. Absolute value means how far from 0. So if I have inside the absolute value a negative 5, I'm still 5 away from 0. So the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So that's the example that, no, it's how far from 0. Look at the number line. How far from 0 is negative 5? It's 5 spaces away. And the same thing for positive 5. It's 5 spaces away. So they're both equal to 5. No, it cannot be negative. You can't have a negative distance. So all absolute value means is how far is this number from 0? And you'll say, oh, 5 spaces. So the absolute value of negative 10 is how much? No, it's 10 spaces from the number line. Yeah, you have to go to the number line. And even if it's a negative 10, this is going to be 10 spaces away from 0. So the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. The absolute value of 10 is 10 because it's going to be 10 spaces away. Okay? So that's all absolute value is. Absolute value means how far from 0. And that's all you care about. You don't, and it's not going to ever be negative. I'm never going to say negative 10 is a negative 10 spaces away from 0. It's not a negative 10, it's 10 spaces away. So absolute value is not going to be a negative answer. Okay, and let's look at a couple of the word problems. I think these are pretty easy word problems. Did anybody get a chance to look at them? Page 7, 8 are the yum-yums. And then you have a review on page 9. And Matho, we're going to do later on in the day. You want to finish this Matho so you guys can win some of the prizes today. So were there any word problems in particular on page 7 and 8 that you wanted to do? Or you just maybe want me to just do the first 2 or 3? Yeah, well, the difference would be a negative 51 minus a negative 76. What am I supposed to do when I take the difference of two numbers? I'm supposed to go plus the opposite. You have to remember those rules. Well, after I've done plus the opposite, then I need to add it. And what would I get? It's not going to be negative. I have a positive and a negative number. I got to take the difference. What is it? I'm getting 25. Okay, Catherine is very interested in cryogenics, the science of very low temperatures. With the help of her science teacher, she is doing an experiment on the effect of low temperatures on bacteria. She cools one sample of bacteria to a temperature of a negative 51 degrees Celsius and another one to a negative 76 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature difference in the two experiments? It's 25 degrees, isn't it? Now, what is it about that one that was so difficult? Teresa, what were you having trouble with on that one? Honey? Good morning. Y'all late. The difference in the temperatures is 25 degrees, not a negative 25. Do you see why it's not negative, Teresa? We started with this one was a negative 51, and we're subtracting a negative 76. I have to do plus the opposite on the subtraction, which gives me 25. A 25 degree difference. Okay, what about the next one here? On Tuesday, the mailman delivers. On Tuesday, the mailman delivers 3 checks for $5 each and 2 bills for $2 each. If you had a starting balance of $25, what is the ending balance? So if I have 25, how much is 3 checks for $5 each? 15. But I have to subtract that because I wrote a check, right? Or do I have to add that? Hold on. Wait, on Tuesday, the mailman delivers 3 checks for $5 each and 2 bills. So if she's receiving checks, is that a plus or a minus? That's a plus, isn't it? Okay, so she's receiving the $15. And then with the $40, we have 2 bills. If it's 2 bills, that means I got to pay. So what's 2 bills minus, times 2? Isn't that $4? I wish I had a bill that was only $2 each. That's $36, right? So that's her balance, huh? Yeah. So if she received 3 checks, that means that she got 3 checks. This is positive. So this is a positive 15. And then 2 bills at $2 is a minus $4. So I end up with 36 as well. Okay? All right, let's look at number 3. You owe $225. That's not good. On your credit card. You make a $55 payment and then purchase $87 worth of clothes at Dillard's. What is the integer that represents the balance owed on the credit card? Okay, so you started with $225. What am I supposed to do with the $55? You made a payment, so that decreased your balance. So I got $170. And then what do I do with the $170? No, you purchased. That means you're adding to the credit card. Yeah, you're adding to that purchase. So I get $2.57 is on the balance, right? You guys try number 4, 5, and 6, and let's go over those answers, and then you guys can do the second page together as table mates.
So that would be 257 negative?
No.
Positive.
It'll be positive. It says, what is the balance owed on the credit card? Did anybody get number 4 yet?
50 degrees is a negative.
Okay, so you started out with a negative 25. You added 75. Oh, they want the difference. I'm sorry. Okay. I think the difference is 100. Okay, if it is 25 degrees Fahrenheit in Ratul, and it is 75 degrees in Honolulu, what is the temperature difference between the two cities? It's 100. Yeah. 75 minus a negative 25, isn't that 100? Yes. Look, you guys, come here. Here's a temperature gauge. You have a negative 25 here. This is 0. Then you have a positive 75 here. This is 75, and this is 25. The difference is 100. Come on. The temperature difference is 100 degrees. What's positive? 75 minus a negative 25 is a positive 100, yes. Well, after you do 75 minus a negative 25, you're going to go plus the opposite. Remember, anytime you're subtracting, you do plus and then you do the opposite. You guys forgot your plus the opposite rule. And that gives you 100. The difference is 100 degrees between those two cities.
Oh, I see. So you subtract
Yeah, you have to do plus the opposite, and that's what gives you the 100. Yeah.
50 over to another.
Right. Okay, what about number 5? During the football game, Justin caught 3 passes. One was for a touchdown and went 52 yards. The other was for a first down and was for 17 yards. The other was on a screen pass that did not work so well. All ended up a gain of negative 10 yards. What was the total yardage gain by Justin on the pass plays? On the passes?
59. 59 positive.
Well, one was for a touchdown that went 52 yards. The other was for a first down that was 17 yards. The other was on a screen pass that did not work so well and ended up with a gain of a negative 10. So when I add all these together, what do I get? I got 59.
Yeah, I got 59 too, but I subtracted that 10 yards.
No. When you first do it, you get 69. Minus 10 is 59. You're going to get 59.
Right. 59 negative. I mean positive.
Right. Okay, and I don't even play football. Okay, number 6. James plays in the backfield of the Big Town football team. Last week, he ran for 4 plays from the halfback position. He made gains measured in yards of 3, 4, 1, and 5. What were his average yards per game? So we know that we're supposed to add them all up, right? So when we add them all up, what do we get? And then we got to divide it by the number we have to get the average. How much is that? How many instances do we have? 4. So it'll be 3 and a fourth, or 3.25. And it said to round it to the what? So if I round 3.25 to the 10th, what do I get? I get 3.3. They don't even have that. What's the closest to 3.3? C, it should be 3.3, not 3.2. If you want to round it to the 10th. So just circle 3.2 even though it should be 3.3. That's the closest answer. Now I'm going to have you and your table mate do all of page 8. Do the review on page 9. And we're going to do matho with these questions on the very back. Questions 1 through 30. So you and your table mates make sure you get this one done, because this will be for the prizes. I got 4 teddy bears and 4 candies.
So,
Which one?
when you said what
Oh, the very last one that says matho. It says matho integer operations, okay?
we got to do that,
Yeah, I would do that with your table mate first and make sure you have that done, and then we'll play matho after break today.